Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Melissa Berrien. I am your host of Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. And here today on this fine Thursday evening, evening here on the West Coast, and probably late evening on the East Coast. So how y'all doing? So I have a long list of breaking news and well, just news. Not a lot of breaking news today, but we still gonna get into it. I still have something for you. So we're gonna jump right into it. But before I do, I'm gonna just say, if you like what you see, you've been back and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. But also, replay gang, y'all know, make sure as you're watching the replay, make sure you leave a comment down below. I do answer people that watch me on the replay. So without further ado, let's get into the first story. But before we get into that, let me change this background, because this background be sending me, there we go, it's a bit busy, but um which one do I want to do? Let's do this one. That'll work for now. So anyway, getting into our first story. As you come on in, please hit the like button and get comfortable. Y'all already know, as I share the stories, comment, do whatever you see fit. But we're gonna dive right into it. So as you see, this is Miss Corona, Miss COVID. I'm telling you, this is a news piece that is going to continue, I believe, for a very long time. I think that this is one of those stories that I said that will continue and continue and continue. And so, in the spirit of continuing, um, let's see. Biden is trending today as it relates to COVID. I think he trends every day as it relates to COVID. Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court blocked President Joe Biden's COVID-19 vaccine or testing mandate for large private corporations, but allowed the vaccine requirement for healthcare workers and facilities that receive federal money. So, this is a win for the people that are against mandates for businesses, but then, like I said, it continues the mandates for health workers. So, like I said, Biden is trending because, some people see that as a loss. The mandate issued by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration called for workers at businesses with less than 100 workers. Y'all remember that? It was a while back. It was like, if you have 100 or less, 100 or more employees, they must get vaccinated or submit weekly COVID negative tests. It also required unvaccinated workers to wear a mask while they were on duty. So, if you notice previously, prior to today, if you notice that some of the workers at some of your larger businesses that they were wearing masks and some places weren't, this perhaps was probably the reason. Well, now the court has rejected that. They have blocked it. And so the article goes on to say there were exceptions for workers with religious exemptions. Now, you know what? Let me use the right terminology: religious objections. I have a friend who, she's using a term that she got fired, and she lives in Washington State, and she is saying that, this was a violation of her rights to be able to reject the injection. So anyway, although Congress has disputably given OSHA the power to regulate occupational dangers, okay, that's the organization. Most people know what OSHA is. They're the regulating organization. It has not given the agency the power to regulate public health more broadly. And guys, that's pretty much the argument that most people have. Where are individuals' rights and freedom to regulate and to regulate their own health? And as with any vaccine, yes, some people will argue, well, you had to take this vaccine, or, the TB test before you go, or vaccines, especially when you work with children or in health. There's certain occupations that definitely require certain vaccines or exemptions to them. So those people were arguing like, okay, why are y'all tripping now? Requiring the vaccination of 84 million Americans selected simply because they work for employers with more than 100 employees certainly falls in the latter category. They continued. The mandate lost at a 6-3 vote. Leave a comment down below. Let me know where you are at as far as this mandate is concerned. Are you celebrating a victory, or are you team mandate? Are you team everyone needs to be vaccinated? Prior to the vote, conservatives leaning justices indicated that they didn't believe President Joe Biden had the authority to task OSHA with enforcing that mandate. So there's that rule of law in making sure that even as a president, you have to stay in your lane. And we've seen, even with the past administrations, where they just kind of seem to jump over their rule of authority. And so OSHA, the judges, the Supreme Court was like, slow your roll, not on this one. You're not going to be able to do it. So, yeah, vaccines don't stop the spread, though. No, they don't. Vaccines do not stop the spread. And I also have a story about that, very specific to that topic, because, well, let's go right into it. Speaking of vaccines not stopping the spread, under the same type of guidance, United Airlines had a mask mandate, and they're now reporting that nearly 3,000 employees tested positive. However, no one is hospitalized and no one has died. And so let me read the article. United Airlines and other airlines continue to grapple about what Thanksgiving, but definitely over the Christmas holiday. We saw a mass cancellations of flights, and they were blaming pilots and staffing, and it was just a mess. And a lot of people were kind of snubbing their nose at Miss COVID, like, okay, are you the culprit here? Like, what's going on? Well, to Kombucha's point, it's always been said that the vaccine does not stop the spread. It mitigates some of the risk of death, allegedly, but according to the data. But yeah, United CEO Scott Kirby told employees in a memo Tuesday that the airline is reducing an unspecified number of flights in the near term to make sure we have staffing and resources to take care of our customers. How bad is the staffing? Kirby said 3,000 of United's U.S. employees have tested positive for coronavirus and are out of work. That seems to be the ongoing theme. I spoke to someone yesterday or the day before, 14 teachers in that small little school. Another district, another health, like my friends that are in the healthcare, they are exhausted. And, even someone else I spoke to within his organization, people are just texting like, I won't be in, I won't be, so I can see that it's significant. I'll say it that way. So United says that's about 4.5% of the workforce, which was the first of the companies to announce a vaccine mandate for its workers. So again, to Kombucha's point, yes, the vaccine is not a enforcer or a barrier to get the COVID virus. Like, you still can get it. However, United is celebrating, for lack of a better term. They are reporting that although we have these 3,000 people that have tested positive, no one has been hospitalized and no one has died. So leave a comment. Let me know. Do you see that this is a feather in the vaccine's hat? Or do you think that you are also like, you know what? I need something that's going to prevent it, because again, according to science, none of it is absolutely 100% preventable. As I mentioned earlier, for those caught up in the holiday travel mess from Christmas Eve through January, Kirby detailed the virus's toll at one of its 7 domestic hubs. Nearly 1/3 of United Air employees at Newark, New Jersey called in sick in a single day. Now, here's the thing. I read something a little bit earlier where someone was kind of debunking the idea that all these people are sick, and they were like, you know what, people are just trying to get out of working or whatever. And you know what, there probably is a certain percentage. I'm not going to sit up here and act all Pollyanna like there aren't people that think that way, but I do know that there are some people that legitimately are sick. As I said the other day, hey Velma, I see you, girl. She's like, hey Melissa, good evening. Down my timeline, people are either getting over it, not everyone, but it's a significant amount of people down my timeline for sure. that are either getting over it, coming out of it, not sure if they have it, getting tested. And again, catch the replay of the video that I did on Tuesday, because I talked about the testing sites here in Arizona closing down. They are overwhelmed. Hospitals are now halting elective surgeries and things that they don't feel are as emergent as some things that are a little bit more serious. So, and then the shelves and all of that. So catch that replay, y'all. I think Kombucha is about to say what we've been saying. I'm tired of boosters. Just give me something that works so I can get other people, so I can't get other people sick and they can't get me sick. That's the thing. That is the concern. Because when you think about the boosters, and then you're like, oh, now they're saying in 6 months you're gonna need another booster, and then another 6 months you're gonna, and I'm like, okay, already. I'm with you. Cut the boosters. I do want to celebrate the fact that, you know, the vaccines seem to keep people out of the hospital and from death. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of people I'm seeing a lot of articles and just different things where sound bites or whatever, where people that were once very, very outspoken against the vaccines. And again, I'm anti-mandate. Listen, give people the choice to make whatever decision that they need to make for their bodies. But unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of people succumb to those choices. So if the message is vaccinate so you don't spread it, then it would make more sense to not require it and test everyone all the time, regardless of status. True. So maybe this is a messaging issue, like you said, Kombucha, because if the issue, because like you said, it's becoming a war on the unvaccinated. And what the unvaccinated are saying, like, listen, I'm unvaccinated, but you guys are blaming me, but you guys are still getting it. Conservative host Glenn Beck just said that he got it. Like, there's so many people, like I said, down my timeline. And to their point, I understand that, because yes, it is the messaging. Big bad people that are not vaccinated, but then you turn a finger and say, hey, listen, you're vaccinated, but you got it. So the messaging is off. The messaging is confusing. So what was the other thing? Oh, speaking of companies that are feeling the pain and that are doing things that some people may feel is unprecedented, Nike is making headlines in this COVID sector, so to speak. They will reportedly begin firing unvaccinated employees this weekend. So again, that speaks to what Kombucha was just saying. Is the messaging off? Is it really about being unvaccinated to stop the spread or to expose, or is it really about becoming vaccinated to mitigate some of the risk of death? And so I think the latter is true, because to their point, you could be vaccinated and you definitely can still get COVID-19. No one ever said that that couldn't happen. But also, once we have this split in America, because that's what it is, we're experiencing a divide. And a lot of people are calling it a war, or a war against the unvaccinated. So anyway, yeah, Nike said this weekend, you're out of here if you're not vaccinated. And they're saying, and then I also read an article where in Canada, if you are unvaccinated, the headline, again, I did not read it, but this, if you aren't vaccinated, they're possibly going to be taxing. So she stole my thunder. If you're in here peeking in, let us know what the heck is going on in Canada. And Natasha. The company, so Nike will begin firing unvaccinated employees this weekend, according to the report of by the Organian, the company, which has had a vaccine mandate in place since October, will fire unvaccinated employees who have not received a medical or religious exemption by Sunday, January 15th. Now, here's the thing. I know that there are several. I'm not going to say it's easy, but I'll just say there are some doctors that are very enthusiastic about providing exemptions for you. So at this point, I remember the buzz because they extended it, and then they were like, listen, because even the government had one for this mandate. And so now January is here, and Nike is like, we're going to hold true to what we said we were going to do. You failed to complete the verification process, and our records show that you do not have an approved exemption, reads an email sent to Nike employees last week. As a result, you are not in compliance with the policy, and your employment is scheduled to terminate on Saturday, January 15th, 2022. So that's this Saturday. Columbia Sportswear will make a similar move beginning February 1st, according to the same report. Nike nor Columbia have issued statements in response to the report. They probably will submit a statement, but at the same time, this conversation has been going on since a couple of months ago now. Okay, since the tail end of last year. We do believe over time that with innovation and strong brand, we want to go to a hybrid model, Nike CEO John Donahue said during last month's earnings call. As you know, in the United States, we have mandated vaccines and have a very high responsive rate to that. So we're ready to come back to hybrid work environment when it's safe. So that's also part of the conversation. A lot of people are like, listen, why are we even going in? Now, trust me, there are still some jobs that you still got to go in. But one thing that Miss COVID has proved that a lot of these meetings in person can be Zoom calls or emails, but also a lot of the jobs that you require people to come in from 9 to 5, 7 days a week can be done at home. I'm here for that. I'm not even here for hybrid. Child, please. Kombucha, to my last point, says they're not worried about people dying, and that's why the messaging is what it is. But it also is creating a greater problem. Working but listening. Hey, brother, Trash Can Waves, good to see you. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, and to your point, Kombucha, I think that's what it is. They're not the messaging won't be savvy enough if we're discussing death or whatever. Let's pit unvax against vax, and it's crazy. So we talked about United and their shortage. Oh, the other thing in this whole COVID conversation, it's now being reported that cannabis compounds prevented COVID infection in laboratory studies. So let me give a little clappity clap. So if you are a connoisseur of that strange fire, Miss Cannabis, it is being reported that her compounds prevent COVID. Cannabis compounds prevented the virus that caused COVID-19 from penetrating human cells, according to a laboratory study published in the Journal of Natural Products. That is promising. Listen, I'm about recreational marijuana, whatever, do whatever you want to do. But I do know that there are medicinal advantages, properties of cannabis. And so it seems like preventing coronavirus is one. The two compounds commonly found in hemp called cannabidiolic acid or CBGA and cannabidiolic acid or CBDA were identified during a chemical screening effort as having potential to combat coronavirus, researchers from Oregon State University said. Good job. Shout out to you guys, Oregon State, doing your research and coming back and reporting to the people, letting them know that that strange fire may just have another good thing that it will promote and be beneficial for the people. The researchers tested the compound's effect against alpha and beta variants of the virus in the laboratory. The study didn't involve giving supplements to people or comparing infection rates in those who the compounds who don't. Those who took the compound and don't. Hemp is a source of fiber, food, and animal feed, and extracts are commonly added to cosmetics, body lotions, dietary supplements, and food. So, the hemp extracts, we see that all the time. These compounds can be taken orally and have a long history of safety, of being safe for humans, said Richard Van Beeman, a researcher with Oregon State's Global Hemp Innovation Center. They have the potential to prevent as well as treat infection by SARS-CoV-2, he said in a statement. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Very, very interesting. I love it, Velma. Velma's clapping. Listen, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that because scrolling up to Kombucha's point earlier, she's like, listen, find a freaking cure. Forget spreading and not spreading and vaccine and not vaccine, all that. Give us something. Listen, sound like Miss Mary Jane is going to be the one to cure it. And that's one thing that people always say. God provides, a talking point usually is God provides what we need in the earth to Lord, I didn't even go through it. So that's for the Nike story. I'm not even gonna do that. That'll confuse me during editing. Nope. So yeah, God provides what we need for cures for diseases and stuff in the earth. So with that being said, hang on, we'll be right back. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Melissa Berrien, your host of Real Talk with Melissa Berrien, where I bring breaking news, hot topics, and commentary, and not only just my commentary, but I also read the comments. And this is an interactive show, okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, as the commercial said, if you like what you see on my channel, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the notification bell. You do not want to miss out. And on when I go live, when I start a video, when I share a short, you do not want to miss out. So, with that being said, follow along right now. Do it. Well, on to the next. This is the next story is about the Oath Keepers, okay? And it is being reported that the Oath Keepers leader plus 10 others have been indicted for seditious conspiracy in the January 6th attack. Again, right along with Miss Corona, there's just certain stories that just go on and on and on. And so, January 6th attack, as we know, we just left that anniversary, and there's indictments and commissions and all kind of stuff. Well, the latest news today about that day is that these people have been indicted. So Rhodes, 56 of Granbury, Texas, and Edward Vallejo, 63 of Phoenix, were arrested on Thursday in Little Elm, Texas, and in Phoenix, according to the Department of Justice press release. Okay. So like I said, Rhodes and 10 others have been charged. According to the indictment, the defendants conspired by organizing into teams that were prepared and willing to use force to transport firearms and ammunition into Washington, D.C. Now, regardless of what you feel and how you feel about it, if you think that this was an uncoordinated event, you got another thing coming. Now, I'm not going to claim to know all the facts, but one thing that I do know when I think about the events that led prior and after, definitely appears to be a coordinated attack, so to speak, coordinated event. Okay. And so the indictment lists it as such. The indictment further alleges the Oath Keepers conspired by recruiting members and affiliates to participate in the conspiracy, organizing trainings to teach and learn paramilitary combat tactics, bringing and contributing paramilitary gear, weapons, and supplies, including knives, batons, helmets, and everything else, onto the Capitol grounds. That was the part that blew my mind. If you've been anywhere in that area for a tour or for an official ceremony or anything of that nature, you know that that place is tight. And I know Trash Can Waves has mentioned when we talked about this previously, where he was like, yeah, we saw the cops egging them on and all of that. And may they be indicted just as much if they have been found to let people in and be participating in this in that situation. The indictment also says the defendants breached and attempted to take control of the Capitol grounds building on January 6th in an effort to prevent, hinder, and delay the certification of the Electoral College vote. And so that's the point. It was very, very shocking. It continues to blow my mind to see and remember how they were able to breach the Capitol. I'm telling you, it's tight up in there. Others named in the indictment, including 9 previously charged defendants. So we have people ranging from Alabama to Texas to Florida, all over the place, Ohio, which kind of gives credence also to the fact that these people come from all over the United States, but were able to um, be connected during this attack. In addition to the earlier charges filed against them, they now face additional counts of seditious conspiracy and other offenses. According to the Department of Justice, the superseding indictment has now effectively been split into 3 parts: the 11 defendant case, a 7 defendant original case, and a 3rd case against one of the previously charged defendants. Well, so if you're like a lot of people and you're wondering, okay, what's taking them so long? What's happening? Are people being held responsible? I'd say so. My tea got cold really fast. I'd say so. Leave a comment down below. Do you think that it is happening fastest, like not swift enough? Justice should be swift, or do you like, you know what, I'm gonna let justice have her way and work this out as best as she can? Okay. Um, Speaking of working out as best as they can, someone else, another organization that is trending today, and a lot of people are excited, a lot of people are optimistic about this. I'm just like, I don't know. Navient reaches a settlement with attorneys general over student loan allegations. So, a coalition of attorney general announced Thursday that Navient, one of the largest student loan servers in the country, that's why I said people are excited, will provide 1.85 billion in relief to resolve allegations of predatory loan practices. So, go to your student loan department, go look at your ledger for school and see if Navient is one of the people that have control over your loan, because you may have some money coming to you. I don't know. Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro was one of the 39 state officials who charged Navient participated in unfair, deceptive, and abusive practices in student loan services. Listen, a lot of people have been screaming foul. Something needs to be done as it relates to the student loan process. Tuition is very expensive. And even for me, I'm just like, you know what, encouraging my kids, get all the scholarships you can get, avoid them darn student loans as best you can. And if you go into a specialty nowadays that you don't necessarily need a degree, don't go to college for basket weaving, in other words. Folks is basket weaving and making top dollar on Instagram and Etsy. But you know, the scam and part of that with school, you needed to have a degree. Well, the agreement resolved claims dating back in 2009 when the company was accused of steering struggling student loan borrowers into costly long-term forbearances instead of counseling them about the benefits of more affordable income-driven repayment plans. While some people are like, you know what, that's their business, they should be more educated, I'm glad that they have been found negligent in this situation, because people are already vulnerable. A lot of people are not educated on loans and money, and you know, as much as they give you education, if Navient practiced or acted in a way that was devious and deceptive, I don't care. The consumer is not their fault. So that's their trending today. Speaking of deviant and not so fair practices, one thing that I can't stand is a scammer, a liar, and people that try to take advantage. And so on offer loans and now on to text scam. I always like to bring stories like this to light, because you never know who is unaware of such practices, regardless of how simple we may think. Everybody knows about this. Well, it's being reported that, let's see. Let me see. Am I friend? Okay, here we go. I feel frozen. Um, I feel. Let's see what you guys can see. Let me break out my phone. Leave a one if I'm frozen. Let me know. Because I'm just sitting here. I feel like I'm just buffering away. Buffering. Let me know. Let's see your channel. Okay, so you can see me. Now that's some good news, Velma says about Nivian. Exactly. Avoid those student loans. Yeah, like if you can avoid it, don't even go there. Don't even. So it doesn't seem like I'm buffering anymore. My article came up, but here's the thing: scam warning, text made to look like they're from your bank. Again, your bank is very unlikely to text you, especially if it's something that you didn't ask for. Meaning what? If you go out of town or if you're part of a program where you ask them to text you, if you go over your draft limit or if suspicious activity, but what they won't do is text you as official business. They'll call you or you need to call them. So it's the same high pressure tactic scammers have been using for years, but people are still falling, uh, falling, what is it called? What's the word? Falling for it. They say that you have to act fast, and if you hesitate, your money will be gone, sent to someone you don't know, never to be seen again. And that's how they get people. They say, you know what, you got to act now. Send me money now. Do this now, because if you don't, your money's going to be gone. It's the same thing with passwords. Be aware. No one's going to tell you, oh, you have to change your password right now, or else you're going to lose your account. And if you do get that email, if you do get that notification, check with the actual company, the website, the social media site to make sure, like, hey, is my password good? Because I got this email. Is this true? But one thing Facebook won't do is say, hey, send me $200 and your bank information so that you can relog in. But that's how they're getting people. They're making it, they're trying to act like you're just so under pressure to get to change passwords or to give them your bank information or whatever, as if you're going to be or whatever. I immediately was scared because there's 3,500 coming out of my account, says Lynn. She says it started when she read a text message. So it's a red flag, is what they're saying. Be aware. She answered the text message. She said it looked like a fraud alert from her bank, Wells Fargo. And here's the thing: these people are getting very, very clever. I'm telling you, I've said this before on here. I've gotten emails from what it looks like someone that I know, a name or whatever, but it will be so weird, misspellings, or they call me something that they normally don't call me or whatever. So, yeah, she says he kept on saying, you got to do this within 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It's going to go out. It's going to go out of your account, says Lynn. The person on the other end said that they were with Wells Fargo fraud department and that Lynn had to make a Zelle payment to herself in $500 increments. Red flag, my friends. Zelle payment to yourself, red flag, to get her money back. You never have to pay a bank to get your money. You shouldn't have to give bank cards or debit cards or those little quick pay cards in order to get something back from a organization or a bank or a credit union, for that matter. I got very caught up, she says, and I got hypnotized in a, upset, nervous kind of way. She was afraid. She didn't know. And so that's why I wanted to report to you guys, like, hey, I will forever continue to share stories like this to make sure that you guys remain safe, to make sure that your money stays safe. All of these are red flags. I've heard of people getting scammed. They'll call you quick money. So in other words, send me 500 in little $25 gift cards so that I can send you 2,000 on a loan. Guys, they are lurking out there, and they're not just lurking because it's Christmas time or because it's holiday time. No, They're looking for people all the time. So be aware that they come through the text, they come through the emails, and it does look legit. But before you act on anything and send any money or whatever, please, please, please call your institution. Velma says exactly, big red flag. I had that happen to me, and the text looks like it's from your bank. Yes, like I said, I've seen texts. I get the your car warranty text. I also get like, hey, Jessica, do you still want to buy a house? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not Jessica. Second of all, go on now. So yeah, just wanted to bring you guys abreast, make you guys aware of the fact that this practice is definitely still happening. So govern yourselves accordingly as far as that's concerned. So we are, what time is it? Okay, not so much going on. So I wanted to tell you about that. So we're winding down. I have a few stories that are very, very interesting, and we're winding down and heading to our ridiculous news section. So let's head on over there. All right, topping us off in the ridiculous news section is this story about a black man who was arrested on a warrant for a 49-year-old white man with a bushy white beard. That's right. The ridiculous part of it is, if your warrant says that, let's see, let me share it with you. If your warrant says that you are looking for a 49-year-old white male with, let's share, not that, let me share the picture. It's just ridiculous. Your warrant says that you're looking for a white male. That ad is working my nerves. I'm going to stop sharing that. You're looking for a white male, bushy beard, and despite being informed of this mistaken identity, none of the unknown Las Vegas Police Department corrections officers bothered to review. So of course he's being arrested, and he's like, "Listen, no, you got the wrong person." Like, no, they didn't listen. He's suing the Metropolitan Police Department, Henderson Police Department, the city of Henderson, all of them. Child, he's naming a whole bunch of them. The suit is seeking compensatory damages of $500,000 under federal law and at least $50,000 under the state law. Again, it's ridiculous because this matter could have been avoided. This man could have not been arrested if they just would have took the time to do due diligence to make sure that the person matches the warrant. So that's why they started off and topped off the ridiculous news section. Okay. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. How can you arrest a black man while looking for a white man? Listen, she stole my thunder. That's why it tops off the ridiculous news segment, because that was my question. Other than the fact that, number one, you didn't, I'm pretty sure, like, again, I'm not in law, but it's just like with medicine. It's just like with anything else. There's a route, there are safety measures that you have to actually process before you even give a medication to a patient. Before you even issue a warrant, you go through and you say, okay, suspect looks like what? One or two things happen. The arresting officer didn't look over the warrant, which I don't even know how that would happen. Listen, again, I'm not even in law, and I know for a fact, not for a fact, but I am very certain that people that are issuing warrants probably have some sort of checklist that they have to follow to say, okay, I got the warrant, check, looked over suspects description, check the address that I'm going to, check. So again, if you're just tuning in, topping off the ridiculous news section, black man was arrested, detained, but the warrant was for a white man with this beard, and now they're being sued. That's another cute look for you, real talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Hello, Adrian. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're winding out our live. So if you're just like Adrian and she stole my thunder, or even if you're catching a replay, hey, replay gang, I promise you, go ahead and leave a comment because I love commenting to you guys. So definitely leave a comment as you are watching the replay. Don't take it lightly. Think you're missing out on a conversation. You're not. So she stole my thunder says, yes, there's a process. I mean, don't you check ID? Don't you validate ID against the warrant? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I know there's a process. How did this happen? So many things went wrong here. It's not even close to be funny. No, it's not funny at all. Because that's why it's ridiculous. Because the thing about it is that this man was traumatized. And I don't care if it was a warrant for a black man and a white man was arrested. Like, it's ridiculous regardless. Criminal law is not my forte, but I'm pretty sure you need probable cause to get a warrant. Oh no, the warrant was served. I'm sorry, the warrant was valid. Okay, that wasn't the issue. The issue was we're looking for Adrian Nash and we arrest I don't know, some white lady or something. I don't know. Going strong. Hey, 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 I am. Got to. Got to. So yeah, Adrian, it's not that the warrant wasn't valid. It's the fact that the arresting officer was on the lookout for a white male with a beard and he arrested a black man. Let me do this. Where is it? And now they're going to be sued as a result. The guy's name is Shane Lee Brown. He was driving home from work when he was pulled over by Henderson police officers. He didn't have his driver's license, so he told the officers his name and gave them his social security card. Okay, so let's just say he fit the description of the warrant. And because Shane did not have his ID, he was arrested because he fit the actual description that was on the warrant. I wouldn't even be bringing this to Ridiculous News if that was a news story. Because he should have his license on him. Point blank, period. But it's the fact that you're looking for a white 49-year-old male, and Shane Lee Brown is a 23-year-old black man. A records check by officers revealed a bench warrant for a 49-year-old man named Shane Brown, who faced a weapons charge associated with the prior felon who was arrested with a weapon. So that's how it happens. We do a background check. Oh, Melissa, okay, boom, there it is. Sloppy. Point blank, period, sloppy. Sloppy. Was the officer literate? Listen, he was literate enough to know that there was a Shane Lee Brown, that he was running the records, and then a Shane Brown came up and he got happy. He said, listen, this is my moment. I like to always make sure that my commentary is positive and that it's solution based and that it's giving advice. It's coming from a place of advice and all of that wonderful stuff. And one thing that I'm gonna say, and I say it depending on what the story is, I always say it. Make sure your bias isn't leading you even in your occupation. Make sure your bias isn't leading you because you're going to make mistakes like this. You're going to assume that the person in your department store is stealing because they look a certain way. You're going to assume the person has money because they look a certain way or because they're dressed a certain way. You're going to assume, oh, I'm looking up this name now. Again, I understand getting a little bit tingle-tangly excited if you saw Shane Brown and Shane Brown, but bruh, if you would have looked a little bit closer, attention to detail, you would have realized that the Shane that came up on your warrant was 49 years old. And little man is 23 years old. And he black. So friends, let's make sure that we're not being led by our biases. I do it sometimes on here. I'll be like, oh, and when I say that, when I say I do it, a lot of times news story will assume that oh, that must have been a white person or that must have been a black person. That's what I'm saying when I say I do it. But I'm very mindful and have become like, hold off, to slow down, get the details, get the actual details and facts before you begin your commentary and or before you assume. So it's the same thing. And this is even, I mean, I'm just on YouTube talking and giving my commentary and sharing the news. Can you imagine? This is um something that, I mean, if he was probably held, so he didn't go to work the next day. Like, it's a snowball effect. And God forbid anything else would have happened to him. Probable cause. Tech dictation got me looking illiterate. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, it's like having a warrant for Adrian and arresting trash can waves. There's so many differences between you. How can anyone confuse the two of you? Exactly. Yikes. I mean, is having the same first name enough to get arrested? I demanded that the government requires unique names from now on. Gosh, it's too easy to be arrested. Exactly. She stole my thunder. I agree 100%. And that's my sentiment. If he just would have slowed down. And I can't say responsibly what was going on in that officer's brain. I can only assume, I can only suggest, I can only offer my opinion that perhaps his bias, black young man, Shane had to be up to some good. But even without that bias, sir, that was just raggedy attention to detail, point blank, period. And that was part of your training. I know it was. You must be attentive to details to be a police officer, even as it relates to non-environmental stuff, but also the paperwork. So now the department has lawsuits, and he probably is going to get awarded the lawsuits because the officer decided to do sloppy police work. So that's that. What is this? Oh, yeah. So, on to the second story. A Mississippi middle school is slammed for offering shapewear. So, for those of you that don't know, men, shapewear is like uh, the undergarments, like the yoga pants or whatever, that kind of cause your rolls from just go from muffin top to va 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 boom. So, for an example, Spanx, Skims, or whatever else brand, non-brand, every brand has some sense of a shapewear, if that's the arena that they're in. Well, anyway, in Mississippi, a middle school is slammed for offering shapewear to its young female students to help them with their negative body image in a tone deaf, atrocious letter to parents. You heard that right. So let me show you the letter, because they had the nerve to send a letter. So, this is the letter. Why do girls suffer from body image? And so there's this whole letter that they sent out, and they talk about body image and the perception. And then, you know how when the kids come home, usually you got to get this paper signed, or you were a kid and you had to get your paper signed. And at the bottom is perforated and you can cut it. Well, at the bottom, there's an order form, and it says, yes, my daughter may receive the healthy literature, shapewear, bras, and other products given by the counselors of South Haven Middle School. She will need the following sizes. And then it says the shapewear, top, bottom, and bra size. And then it gives the option for parents that are like, hell no, my daughter may not receive the healthy literature, shapewear, bras, and other products. So this is the letter. The letter was shared on social media by a mom who said that she was beyond pissed. And I know I would be too. I don't know. To play devil's advocate before I say anything else, I could see if it was a specific class on being presentable, let's say, an etiquette class. And part of the course was talking about this specifically. So, in other words, I allowed my child to sign up for this class. To my knowledge, there's no such class that talks about bras and fitting shirts. Because, ladies, you know what I mean. Like, if there was an actual class and I highly doubt it, in middle school, that teaches you how to choose a bra, how to choose shapewear, how to get shapewear to flatter your body, what clothes should be worn under, shapewear should be worn under, so that you're not jiggling and shaking all over the place. So to play devil's advocate, if that were the case, then I'd be like, okay, just opt in or opt out. You let your kid take the class. But we know, Melissa, that's not even a thing. You know that's not a thing. Most women learn about shapewear back in the day, women my age, you learn it from your grandmother. You learn it from your mother. I don't know what these girls now. I don't think anybody, listen, that's a whole nother story, because I don't think the girls nowadays is even trying to wear shapewear. So anyway, it concluded by offering literature on body image, as well as bras, offering shapewear and stuff like that. It discussed the downsides of having a negative body image, including poor self-esteem. Well, here's the thing. Again, if that was the messaging, if that's the point, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, those are conversations that parents should be having with their daughters, or it should be a part of the child development course that the kids are taking, or a part of the human development. It should be within context. Okay. But it definitely shouldn't be handed. And I'm thinking high school. Middle school, you're talking about 10 to 14-year-olds that received this letter. So she shared the letter online, slamming it for perpetuating the problem of the negative body image. Of course, because what it's saying is, hey, you little girl, that your body's still growing, you're in the height of puberty, and geez, for a 10 to 14-year-old girl, she's insecure like crazy. So let me offer you a solution. You're not good enough. Your bra's not good enough, and here you go. There were other people online that deemed the letter unacceptable. And what else? And so yeah, like I said, this is an actual picture of the letter. Wow. So reading on it, it says girls are more likely than boys to have negative body image. This may be because many women in the United States feel pressure to measure up to strict and unrealistic cultural beauty ideals, which can lead to a negative body image. So your solution to that is to offer shapewear. A negative body image may also lead to low self-esteem, which can affect many areas of a young girl's life, especially when she's between the ages of 10 to 14, highly formidable years, but very, very insecure, because they're changing. There's hormones all over the place. Leave a comment down below if you haven't already. I'm checking now. Let me know what you think about it, but also replay game. Let me know what you think about this craziness right here. Velma says, oh my gosh, too much. I agree. Too much to be involved in school, too much for middle school, too much. Maybe a shapewear class is not a bad idea, real talk. Exactly. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea, because as a teacher, I can tell you there are some times where you see these young ladies and you're like, well, but I chalk it up to no one taught the girl. And as a coach, you teach them, you pull them to the side. Hey, what kind of deodorant you use? I'm just saying, because it's a little, and then you give them some advice. Hey, those Nike Pros are a little bit too small. Do you have another one? Hey, pull your shirt up. Some girls are not receiving that type of guidance. I completely understand that. So within context, this letter would have been perfect, especially if I can definitely see if this is an inner city. And here's the thing, I don't even want to say inner city, because that's giving that's suggesting that people that have money don't have sloppy shapewear, that don't have muffin tops, that don't walk out the house sloppy. And we all know that that's not true. So like Adrian said, within context, I can definitely see nothing wrong with that letter. I do have a problem with it being children of that age, because they got a lot going on as is. But a shapewear class, absolutely. Presented in a healthy way, absolutely. Teaching these young girls, even if it's attached to like a high school Future Business Leaders of America class or club. And we're going to do a segment on undergarments. Absolutely. I'm here for it. Your parents know you were in there. Your parents allowed you to be a part of it. And the parents got the curriculum to say, okay, second quarter, second term, this is what we're going to be talking about. Opt in or opt out. And if you find yourself having a hard time buying a good bra, because your little tiny A's, y'all can find bras all over the place. But there are some middle schoolers and high schoolers that see D cup, and there may be some parents that can't afford it. So I don't have a problem with the letter in that context. But if I didn't ask you, no. Be fitted for and buying a correct bra is a real thing. Listen, it's a very real thing. It's a very real thing. I think the outcry is they didn't ask for it. And then they're trying to tie it into self-esteem and all of that. This could have been part of a great initiative for a school district and for a school to teach young ladies about presenting themselves. Think about those of us that are a certain age or work at certain places. You see how some of these young girls go to job interviews? Somebody needs to tell them. I saw this video. It was a ratchet video. They were out. Yes, it wasn't anything official, but we see the dresses, and they were fighting. Dress went up, nothing underneath. Fine, do whatever you're going to do, but everything jiggling and wiggling and everything else. Church, all those conversations used to happen at church. I don't know when the last time I heard anyone give guidance about slips or see-through dresses or whatever. Don't know when the last time. Because anything goes. So I agree with you. Exactly. Pull them to the side and talk to them or discuss it in hygiene class as a whole. Yeah, talking one-on-one, you got to have a straight relationship with the kids to do that. Exactly. 10 to 14-year-old, your body is basically starting to grow and change, let alone set in. I mean, girls develop at like 18 and 19 years old. Absolutely. I think as Adrienne is picking up, I think for me, I would have made it more about a specific class or a specific course that the kids and the parents knew what they were signing up for, and this was a part of it. That's all I'm saying. Oh my God, too much, Velma says. Pardon, is shapewear for children? I can't. Exactly. No. Exactly my point. I don't think shapewear should be for children. That's why I said I can see all of this going on with the course in high school, because now we're dealing with adult bodies, so to speak. A middle school offering shapewear to only girls. That part. I was going to hit on that part too. The focus on the girls. I could think of a lot of gentlemen that can use some shapewear, but the focus is on the girls. I often try to admit my bias or prejudice and then allow new information to change my mind. Very good point. So She Stole My Thunder is talking about the previous story that we talked about. And yes, and like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with understanding that you are biased in a certain way. But to have an open mind and admit your bias and say, you know what, but teach me. Or, yep, I missed the ball on that. Absolutely. So yeah, we are at the top of our hour. Let's see what else. Those are the main two. I can do that. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sipping and Just Saying, and I have a special guest co-host. Lauren Melissa will be with me tomorrow, and I extend an invitation to the rest of you guys who are content creators to come up, join up, and be here with us. And so if you're new to my channel and you're like, what the heck is Sipping and Just Saying? Well, it's like a virtual happy hour, but check this out. This will better explain it. So I don't have to tell you that we're living a very fast-paced life. Sometimes we barely have enough time to even eat a balanced meal. Well, here's the thing. I created a space for adults to wind down. Essentially, it's a virtual happy hour called Sipping and Just Saying. That's right, a place where we get to wind down. We laugh, joke, we clown each other, and we just share just a relaxed time with one another. So, So kick up your heels, come on in with your favorite drink or beverage, and let's have a laugh together. Oh, and did I mention no serious topics are allowed? See you soon. See you soon. So yeah, you see it. It's like a virtual happy hour, and drinks are not required. I'm sipping on tea. Sometimes I have coffee. Last week I had wine. Don't think I'm going to do that this week, but who knows? The point is to get from out of the noise of life and just have a good time. Tomorrow we have a lineup of entertainment news. That's why I did not cover it today. And we're just going to have a discussion and discuss all kind of crazy stuff. You guys know I bring memes, so it's going to be a good time. So thank you guys for watching today. But more importantly, I will see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. Oh, and by the way, if you like what you see on this channel, go ahead. You know what? Let me. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. All right, that's the last commercial. I don't think I have any more. Oh, wait, I do. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna give y'all no more commercials. Yeah, so if you like what you see on my channel, I always enjoy y'all. I enjoy you guys too. It's always fun over here. And welcome, Adrian, Adrian. She just found my channel and she's been Velma understood the assignment. Okay. When you come over here, we're best friends immediately. And she's here. So shout out to you, Velma. Thank you as always for coming in, Adrian, and showing support. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat channel, 6 o'clock. Sipping and Just Saying with Laura Melissa. Peace.